The lovely ladies of The View are at it again. The female-powered show wasting no time in attacking Republican women. Whoopi Goldberg completely losing it over Nikki Haley's presidential campaign announcement.
Nikki, you know, since you have been asleep all this time and you just woke up, you're just finding out that there are things about our country that are not perfect. And for us to pretend that it is and that nothing happened is ridiculous. So you're not saying anything new.
But the idiocy doesn't end there. Whoopi can't tell the difference between these two Republican senators who have the same last name.
We do deserve to have two strong parties. So, you know, Tim Scott, Black Tim Scott, right? Because there are two Scotts, and I don't know how to differentiate them without a picture. So
Rick
he's
Scott and Tim Scott?
Rick Scott and Tim Scott.
Right.
Tim Scott is black, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's amazing about all of them is they play the race card all the time. But then when you have a conservative who's a woman and considers herself and is a woman of color, oh, they want to trash her immediately. So Sunny Hostin previously trashed Nikki Haley when she said she was a chameleon for using the name Nikki, when Sunny uses the name Sunny instead of Asuncion because we can't pronounce it. Remember that, Jesse?
I do, yeah. Sunny, Whoopi, Joy, all of them are ridiculous. I don't know. It's a dodge because we want to talk about policy. But Democrats never want to talk about policy. They just want to talk about identity. And it's such a cop-out. And the Republican Party is dying to talk about policy, the border, transgender bathroom policy, inflation, whatever it is. But you can't have a conversation if every time you say something, they say you're a bigot. Or they talk about the color of your skin. It's just so annoying with these people. And they think they have the moral high ground when they play the race card, but they actually don't. And you're listening to a woman of color who's a millionaire, who changed her name to sound Jewish and dates white guys, talk about how racist America is. How is that even? Is it racist? Or if it is racist, Whoopi, give us some advice on how to become a millionaire celebrity as a woman of color. That would be helpful.
You know, Geraldo, Nikki Haley mentioned Joe Biden several times, but her true opponent is really Donald Trump right now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure. But can I say one thing about The View, just if I may? The secret, I think, to unlocking The View is even though they speak about race, it's not about race. Even though they speak about gender, it's not about gender. It's about ideology. It's a very ideologically driven show. They believe their philosophy is very progressive. They believe it, and everything else is a device to accomplish that goal. Now, in terms of Nikki Haley, I say right on, girlfriend, go for it. It's you know, she's taking on the big lion in the cave. I'm filled with admiration. I've met her a couple of times. I think she's very, sounds very competent. She was a good ambassador. She's a great governor. She was governor during that awful massacre down there. I think she'll be a formidable candidate. I don't know where she's going to get the money. I don't know where any of them are going to get the tens of millions they'll need.
One of the things, Dana, that she says is that the Republicans have lost the popular vote in 7 of the last 8 presidential elections and failing to win the confidence of the majority of Americans. Nikki Haley feels that she is part of the new generation that can accomplish that.
So we'll see how that goes, right? So I thought she looked pretty confident today, and she was cheerful and joyful out there. The thing about this one is that I just love it when you see women supporting other women. It's really warms the heart. And you just have to admire how The View really supports women. It's very admirable, and we thank you for all of that support. They think that you're only a real minority if you have a Democrat next to your name. And I think that what they don't realize is that actually helps Nikki Haley. They wanted to hurt Nikki Haley. Comments like that about The View help Nikki Haley because then we're talking about it here. And she can figure out a way to say, oh, look, now they want to go after me just like they want to go after every other Republican. She's not trying to win the vote of Whoopi Goldberg. She's trying to figure out a way to see if she could possibly get enough votes to win a Republican primary. The last thing I would say is Sunny said that she was a political grifter, which I don't even know. I don't think she knows what that means because that would mean that you're just out there to make money for it. There is actually, Nikki Haley was one of the ones. She would travel anywhere. She would campaign for anybody if you called and asked her, and she was a really good campaigner in the last 2 elections. So political grifter, that doesn't fit Nikki Haley.
You know, Greg, 59% of the black vote in South Carolina is Republican. Tim Scott may enter the race, and I wonder how that breaks down vis-a-vis Nikki Haley and Tim Scott.
Is he black or white?
We don't know.
I don't know. I think, you know.
You want a picture?
I think I need a picture. I love that you can't tell the difference. Does that mean that Tim's not black enough or Rick's not
It's the
white
haircut.
enough? You know what helped Whoopi out a lot? If one of them was Jewish, then she'd know who to blame. You know, I love The View. I get at least one segment every 2 weeks out of them. It's incredible. And I think Geraldo is right to some extent, that it's all on the altar of ideology. But at the same time, construction workers have greater respect for women than women on The View. I've never seen women more vile to other women than
hateful.
on The View. They're hateful. They are blind to any woman's achievement, right? Nikki Haley or the judge, if you do not follow what they say. So their idea of diversity stops at diversity of opinion. If you don't agree with them, you're as good as scum to them. So they're misogynistic in the service of their political beliefs, and that makes it okay to them. Unlocking the Secret of The View. That's a new Fox Nation show hosted by Geraldo.
Yes.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.